Ladies and gentlemen, Arizona has taken another L. Before we even get to this point of giving you the details of this story, I'm sorry that's on the screen. I know y'all are probably wondering, like, what the hell was that? That is a lice bug. I guess you call it a bug, an insect. I don't know, but it's disgusting. But this whole story is disgusting. But again, I got to give you guys the fair usage and also a fair warning disclaimer that you might find my content controversial or offensive, but the information is coming from many verifiable sources. My commentary is going to be about the facts of this story. So the point is to try to use this as a cautionary tale in hopes of people not doing this neglectful, insane stuff to children. Viewer discretion is advised, and that is your official disclaimer. Let me go ahead and get these hood billies up on the screen here. Two women in Arizona are facing new felony charges in connection with the horrific death of a 9-year-old girl who died from symptoms connected to an untreated hair lice infection. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I don't know anything about hair lice, but I know it can be a real bad thing and you gotta get it checked out. It's a health hazard. I don't know much about hair lice. I'm gonna just be real with you, but I know it's a bad thing. So the these wonderful, beautiful creations of God right here on my screen. Sandra Krakovich, 38 years old. Wow. Wow. The devil was unkind to your face, ma'am. Wow. 38? Sheesh. Ma'am, I might have gave you 60, but 38? Nah, nah. That's the girl's mother on the left-hand side of the screen, if you could even call her a mother. And then you have Elizabeth Krayevich, who's 64 years old, who looks like she could have been the mother of the crypt keeper from Tales from the Crypt. Damn, ma'am. Like, her face looks like, you know, like when you suck a lollipop almost until like it's completely gone. It looked like somebody did that to the top of her head, like a cow was just sucking on the top of her head. Like, man, she looks like the mother of the Grinch who stole Christmas. My God. The Grinch who stole Christmas's mother. Let's talk about these these women. She is 64 years old as the girl's grandmother. I would have easily said she's about a good 82. Easily 82 years old. But I digress. They have both been charged with first-degree murder for good reason. And I'm getting this story from lawandcrime.com, my favorite website to get accurate information from. So thank you guys so much for the article. The Tucson Fire Department on the morning of March the 22nd responded to a 911 call about an unresponsive child at a home located in the 8200 block of East Gulf Links Road, according to a report from the Tucson ABC affiliate KGUN TV. Let me see. Upon arriving at the gated community residents, first responders discovered an unconscious 9-year-old girl and attempted to perform life-saving procedures on the girl and contacted the Tucson Police Department. And unfortunately, medics were unable to resuscitate the girl, and she was pronounced dead at the scene. Absolutely heart-wrenching. According to court documents obtained by the Tucson CBS affiliate KOLD TV, after the child was pronounced dead, officials said large amounts of bugs began to cover her face. Somebody in the chat said lice drank this baby to death. I don't know what lice do. I don't know. Untreated can consume someone. It sucks the blood. That sounds almost like a tick. Maybe even worse. Like I say, I'm not going to even lie and act like I'm familiar because I'm not. So I'll have to trust what you guys are saying in the chat. Upon closer inspection, it was discovered that there was an enormous amount of lice in her hair. An enormous amount, first responders reportedly told investigators. In an interview with police, Sandra reportedly said that her daughter suffered from anemia and had been ill since approximately March 15th with symptoms that included headaches, sore throat, fever, difficulty breathing, and trouble keeping her balance. And you didn't think that it was appropriate to take her to a fucking doctor? Let me read that again. Allegedly, she's claiming anemia, but then she said that the child was exhibiting symptoms of headache, sore throat, fever, difficulty breathing, and trouble keeping her balance since March the 15th. And this story came out on last month. At least 3 months that you're claiming that you knew something was wrong. I just flat out think that they didn't give a crap. One of the victims, and I think that's why a life sentence, sounds good for both of them. One of the victim's older siblings reportedly told police that her mother had attempted to treat the lice using mouthwash. I don't know anything about it. Mouthwash doesn't sound appropriate. I think they give you medication for it, don't they? Like medicated shampoo or something like that. Text messages recovered from the women's phones reportedly showed that they chose not to seek medical treatment for the child's symptoms. Per KOLD, the news station, Sandra sent messages to her boyfriend on March the 14th and 15th stating that she knew she needed to get her daughter to the hospital. A week later, on March 21st, she reportedly wrote, "OMG, babe. Listen, I'm in my room and my mom called me. The name was redacted, was asking if I could check on her to make sure she isn't dying." So it sounds like they didn't release the little girl's name. I don't know if I have it or if I don't. Let me see. I might not actually have it. Okay, yeah, I don't see her name. So maybe they kept her name private. So let's keep going. Sandra's boyfriend reportedly told her to take the child to the hospital, but she allegedly refused. Text messages between Sandra and Elizabeth, those decrepit individuals that you guys saw on my screen. Let me see if I can. Woof. They just look like they smell bad. Text messages between these two fools also appear to show that the lice infestation ultimately played a pivotal role in the lack of medical treatment. In one message, Elizabeth, who reportedly watched Sandra's children while Sandra worked, threatened to call 911 for her granddaughter. However, she decided against calling for help, writing that the child can't go to the ER with her hair, but that's left to me because you not at home. Or you're not home. In an interview, Sandra allegedly admitted that if she sought medical care, her daughter would probably still be alive, investigators wrote in an affidavit. Boom. Sandra and Elizabeth were both arrested in March and initially charged with felony child abuse stemming from their treatment of the deceased child's siblings, ages 11 and 13. Police reportedly said that the children were both also suffering from severe lice infestations, per the Arizona Daily Star. They were placed in the custody of other family members. The Pima County Medical Examiner conducted an autopsy and determined that the little girl's cause of death was neglect. There is a cause of death. The manner is undetermined. Medical examiner Dr. Gregory L. Hess reportedly said last month. She died from anemia from untreated lice infestation with malnutrition as a contributing factor. That's the cause. Dr. Hess also noted that the child had fluid buildup in her lung tissue, pale skin and organs, liver necrosis, and an iron deficiency. Records show that Sandra is currently being held at the Pima County Adult Detention Center on a $55,000 bond, which I think is way too low. Records for Elizabeth were not available online. Now, the Pima County Prosecutor's Office, the Pima County Sheriff's Office, and the Tucson Police Department did not immediately respond to messages from Law and Crime seeking additional details. As Law and Crime has noted in the past, the theory of the Arizona case is not necessarily novel. The New York Times reported in October 2020 that the authorities in a separate Georgia case, alleged that a severe lice infestation killed a 12-year-old in Peach State. I could probably skip some of this. They're talking about some other situations. Let me go ahead and give you guys the fair usage. It's just a couple of news videos, but let's talk about this. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. And do us a favor, in the memory of that baby, I feel like we owe her to it. Make sure you guys click that thumbs up. I want to make sure that this story does get the media attention that it deserves. And more people need to share these stories, okay? Here we go. Let's get it.
Now, new developments have been, we've reached into our newsroom here of a 9-year-old Tucson girl. Now, the child's name has not been released, but we've been following her story since March when her mother and grandmother were charged with child abuse. Now, felony murder charges have been added. News 4 Tucson's Lupita Murillo has the details.
According to the medical examiner, the girl died from a long-standing lice infestation, which brought on anemia. According to court documents, on March 14th, the child's mother, Sandra Krajkovic, messages her boyfriend saying she needs to take her daughter to the ER, but they never went. A week later, she messages her boyfriend, quote, "OMG, babe, listen, I'm in my room and my mom was calling me." Her daughter's name is redacted, was asking if I could check her pulse to make sure she isn't dying. The boyfriend urges her to take her daughter to the ER, but again, Krajkovic does not. The little girl died 2.5 hours later. The report goes on to say the mother admits that if she had sought medical care, her daughter would still be alive. She says she avoided getting help because of the girl's lice infestation. Court documents also show the mother admitted her daughter had been sick since March 15th, describing symptoms of vomiting, fever, headache, difficulty breathing, and balance issues when walking. Police were called to this Eastside apartment complex on March 22nd. 2 other children were also in the house. They are now staying with family members. Both of those children also had severe lice infestations and were helping care for the sister who died. Investigators report the home was dirty and in a general state of disarray. The victim's mother remains behind bars in the Pima County Jail on a $55,000 bond. The grandmother was released to pretrial services on March 25th. From Midtown, Lupita Murillo.
Mother and grandmother charged with child abuse and the death of a 9-year-old are now facing first-degree murder.
9 on your side's Craig Smith reports on the new charges against Sandra Krajkovic and her mother.
Child abuse charges hit in late March against Sandra Krajkovic and her mother, the child's grandmother, Elizabeth Krajkovic. Now investigators have decided the charge against both of them should be murder. The 9-year-old girl died behind the walls of this gated community. Her name has not been released. After 911 was called, first responders reported a large amount of bugs began to cover her face. Upon closer inspection, it was discovered there was an enormous amount of lice in her hair. The lice may figure into why the girl did not receive medical care in time to save her. Court reports from the original child abuse charge say the child's mother reported the child had anemia, vomiting, fever, headaches, and had trouble keeping her balance. Text messages police found in Sandra Krajkovic's phone indicate she knew the child was seriously ill. Investigators report texts from Sandra Krajkovic reporting the child is sick, and also texts from Sandra Krajkovic's boyfriend and grandmother saying the child needs treatment. The grandmother, Elizabeth Krajkovic, complains she's left to care for the girl and Sandra's other children. She threatens to call 911 for the child, but does not. and makes what may be a reference to the head lice when she texts, "Can't go to the ER with her hair, but that's left to me because you're not home." Questioned by police, Sandra Krakovich admitted if she had sought medical care, the girl would probably still be alive. She recognized she should have sought medical care for the girl, but admitted she did not because of the lice infestation. The girl's autopsy says she died of anemia connected to an infection from lice infestation, and that malnutrition contributed to her death. Case documents say the child's grandmother, Elizabeth Krakovich, also provided much of the care. Now she is also facing first-degree murder charges, along with the previous child abuse charges. Craig Smith, KGUN 9, on your side.
Mother and grandmother are facing felony murder charges in the death of a 9-year-old girl. It's a case we've been following since March, and we need to warn you, some of the details are quite graphic. News 4 Tucson's Lupita Murillo has more.
According to the medical examiner, the girl died from a long-standing lice infestation, which brought on anemia. Sandra Krakovich is the victim's mother, and Elizabeth is the grandmother. Both were charged with child abuse in March. That's when police were called to this Eastside apartment complex, where investigators say the child died after life-saving measures failed. They also noticed an enormous amount of lice in the little girl's hair. The victim's mother told investigators her daughter suffered from anemia. The mother appeared in court last week.
I've seen you in connection with the Superior Court warrant issued in 4 felony counts, 2 counts of child abuse, class 4 felonies, 1 count of first-degree murder, felony murder, class 1 felony, and 1 count of child abuse circumstance likely to result in.
The victim's grandmother is also now facing new charges.
Felony murder is a charge that's added when it's connection to another crime. In this case, it would be the child abuse.
There were 2 other children in the home who have now been placed with family members. Sergeant Gradia also told me that felony murder is also applied when someone dies in the commission of a crime. And coming up at 6 o'clock, a closer look at the court documents. From Midtown, Lupita Murillo, News 4 Tucson.
Man, I just do not really know what to say about this. It's disgusting to think that you could just watch somebody just die out like that, a child just die out like that, and the fact that you care that little. Can we get a hashtag, babies for benefits? Yes. She only had these children to collect benefits off of them. She clearly didn't love them and didn't give a crap about them at all. And, you know, it's not to say that lice is an uncommon thing. I actually think it is a common thing, but it's a thing that you can treat. You can easily fix it. And the fact that you could have easily fixed this by just not being a fat, lazy bitch, then I think that they both need life in prison for flat out neglecting this baby to death. That's just a horrible way to die. And the fact that this baby knew that she was about to die and could have been saved, and mom was just like, I don't care. Man, it's just absolutely heartbreaking. Life in prison for them. That's the end of it. And if we could put an RIP in the chat for that baby, I don't know her name or even have a picture to even pay tribute to her, to pay homage to that young soul lost, RIP. But these 2 individuals, I don't know, man, looking like who did it and why. My goodness, man, just horrible individuals. But let me know what you guys think about this case, and make sure to leave a comment, share the stories to make sure that we get these baby stories out there, man. But from my heart to yours, I love you all. Thank y'all. Have a great day and have a great night. We'll see you guys on the next story, okay? Thank you.